Hello everyone, good evening, how are you all? So yes, welcome back at Exampur, and today we are going to discuss chemical bonding which will be relevant to SSC examinations. Now in the SSC examinations, when these questions are asked, what kind of questions are asked? The questions may come from the polar bonds, polar covalent bonds, non-polar covalent bonds. Then we have ionic bonds. We can talk about electrovalent bonds over there. Yeah. So ionic bonds, covalent, coordinate. Now you must be wondering, sir, what? Bonds? Yeah. It's not James Bond, obviously. We are talking about bonds. So what are these? Let's have an example over here. If I talk about a cricket ball, if you are playing a cricket, fine. Now someone is using the bat and once it breaks, what are you going to do? You are going to use the adhesive over there. You can use Fevicol or all those stuffs, right? So now if that particular bat is broken, you are putting that adhesive. Why? In order to get the stability of the bat. True? So we have Vikramaditya over here. Good evening, Vikramaditya. So yes, this is specifically for CGL part. In the morning, we were discussing the questions from different SSC examinations. So here, we'll be going in more depth. So let's understand what we are talking about. I have given you the example of bond, right? Now, in the similar manner, that bat was actually wanting what? Stability. In the similar manner, we, in our life, we want the stability, right? You all are preparing for the job, for the SSC examination, so that you can clear the job, you can get the job stability over there, and you can start your new life, new journey with your life partner, right? So yes, here we are talking about the elements. Elements also wants the stability. Now how? From their outermost shell, if they have their outermost shell complete with those 8 electrons or 2 electrons, they attain the stability, right? So yes, let's go with the first question, then we'll move slowly and slowly. So we have the first question. Formation of anions occurs by what? So we have 4 options here. Is it by loss of electrons, gain of protons, gain of electrons, or none? What is the correct answer over here? And everyone who's there in the session, kindly like it and share it. And I'm waiting for the answer. Formation of anions occur by dash. How these anions are actually forming? Can you answer this? Now you must be wondering, sir, what? We have understood what was bond. We took the example of those glue in the bat. We were discussing about different things where we were talking about our stability, we were talking about element stability. But what is this anion actually? Let's understand. If I'm talking about some of the elements, for example, if I talk about chlorine. Now if I talk about chlorine, chlorine actually requires the electron for its stability. Now, what is the stability again and again that we are discussing about? Stability. If I talk about this chlorine, can anyone tell me in which particular group this chlorine is there? Vikramaditya, can you tell me? If I talk about those 18 groups, within those 18 groups, where is this chlorine present? Vikram is with option A. Okay, but I'm not going with these options right now. My question is, Vikramaditya, this chlorine is present in which group? Obviously, it's the 17th group, right? Now, this means 17th group is telling me, sir, this chlorine is going to have 7 electrons in the outermost shell, which is what? This is actually telling me, so these 7 electrons are known as valence electrons. Totally correct. Now, we have discussed about valency also yesterday. Remember that periodic table part? What is valency? How many electrons are either needed or can be donated, either can be donated or can be taken in order to complete my outermost shell. That is, for chlorine, I want my octet to be complete. So let me write configuration. It was 287. So it requires one more electron, right? So actually, 1 is the valency. What is the valency? Valency is 1. But how many valence electrons are there? We have 7 valence electrons, because in the outermost shell there were 7 electrons. So you must be clear with both the facts. What is valence electron and what is valency? Both these things are clear. Now, it requires 1 electron. So what will happen? When it will gain 1 electron, it will have a charge. Which charge? Yes, negative charge. So when I'll talk about this negative charge, as soon as it gets one of the electron, its configuration will be 288, and yes, what it wanted? It wanted to be stable, that is 8 electrons, and that's why this chlorine is going to be stable, and when it is gaining the 1 electron, we'll write minus. If it gains 2 electrons, we'll write 2 minus. If it gains 3 electrons, we'll write 3 minus. So we know about chlorine. Chlorine requires only 1 electron, and that's why we'll say that in this manner, this particular anion is formed. Now, Vikramaditya is with the answer, totally correct. From this, it is clear that, sir, what is going to happen? By gaining of the electron, this anion will be formed. Absolutely correct, Vikramaditya. Anyone, if you have any doubt, please let me know. But we are going to start this with step by step and we'll go on the higher end. Okay. Okay. And yes, what all things we are going to study today? We'll be understanding the ionic bond. We'll be understanding the then covalent bond, then we'll be understanding the coordinate bond, and yes, in the covalent also we'll understand what is polar and what is non-polar covalent bond. These names look quite difficult, but yes, we are going to understand it in the easier manner. Okay, let's move forward now. Next question is, a bond formed by the transfer of electrons between the atoms of the elements is called what? So please answer me this so that I can start explaining. Answer please. I'm talking about the bond which is formed by the transfer of electrons between the atoms of the elements. It is what? Is it ionic bond, covalent, coordinate, hydrogen, what? What kind of bond is it? And then we'll understand about it. So till now we have understood what is bond. Then we have understood the valency. We have understood valence electrons. Then we have understood anions, and then we have understood cations, right? So these things are clear till now. If you have any doubt between these things, let me know. Now this answer please. Please answer me in the super fast manner, and everyone who's there in the session kindly like it and share it. So Vikramaditya has told, so the answer would be ionic bond. That's totally correct. We have understood about this in the morning itself. Now I'll again explain. Let's say when I'm talking about this ionic bond, what is happening? Here actually transfer of electrons takes place. Now you must be wondering, sir, what is transfer? Let's understand. If I take the example of the first group, remember? First group, we were talking about sodium. You can talk about any of the element which is there in the first group. Let's talk about sodium here. For the sodium, we know that it is in the first group, so it will be having one valence electron, and in the similar manner, it is going to have one valency. If I talk about chlorine, chlorine has 7 electrons in the outermost shell. Now we know that they want stability, right? Stability will come how? By gaining the electron in such a manner that outermost shell is complete. How many electrons? For sodium, we have atomic number, what? 11. That's why we have configuration this 281. So one electron, if it is donated, it will have only 2-8 configuration, and this is actually giving the completion of outermost shell. In the similar manner, chlorine 287. Once it gets this particular 1 electron, it is going to have 288 configuration, and hence it will also be full. Now here what is happening? Electron is donated from sodium, so 1 electron is donated Na plus, 1 electron is gained by chlorine, so negative charge. And in this manner, what is happening? Electrons transfer is taking place, and this type of bond is known as ionic bond. Please remember, this type of bond is known as ionic bond. Cool. Let's move forward now. Totally correct, Vikramaditya. Next question is, NaCl has which type of bond? Is it non-polar bond, polar covalent bond, metallic bond, or ionic bond? Very simple. I have just told you about this. So answer please. Can we get the answer please? NaCl has which type of bond? Can you answer this please? Waiting for the answer please. Yeah. And everyone who is there in this session, please answer so that we can easily understand what all things are there. So you must be wondering, sir, we have not discussed about it, right? Polar bond, polar covalent bond, metallic bond. So obviously, since we have not discussed, this is not going to be the correct answer. We will be eliminating these options. Here the correct answer is ionic bond. Why? Because we understand we are talking about the ions. That is cation and anion. Remember? So yes, NaCl is the ionic bonds example. Okay, next. So we have Exampur official application here, which is one-stop solution for all the government job aspirants. We have live paid courses with the test series. We have free subject-wise and topic-wise quizzes with the report card. We have job alert, admit card, examination date. All these things at a single platform where you are also going to have daily, weekly, monthly current affairs. So what you have to do, just go to this Play Store, type Exampur over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just register it and start using it. Okay, so yes, there's a next question. A bond formed by sharing of electrons between the atom of elements is called what? A bond formed by sharing of electrons between the atoms of element is called what? Answer please. Is it ionic, covalent, coordinate, or none? And here we are aware of what I was talking about, ionic bond. We are already aware of what is this ionic bond. In the ionic bond, what is happening here? Transfer of electron is taking place. correct? And we have already discussed about it. We were talking about the ions, right? That's why it is ionic bond, Na plus Cl minus. So this was actually transfer of electron, that was ionic bond. But now we are having only two options. कौन बनेगा करोड़पति 50-50? So Vikramaditya, I guess you would be the first one to answer this, and all the other candidates who are there in the session, kindly let me know what is answer according to you. If you are able to understand this part now, you will be able to move forward in the chemistry. These starting two lectures are very, very important in order to gain all those concepts which are going to come up. Yeah, answer please. So Vikramaditya is with B, covalent bond, that's totally correct. Let's understand about it. Here sharing of electron is taking place. How? Just have a look. If I talk about hydrogen, what is the atomic number of hydrogen? Atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That means it is going to have just 1 electron. Correct? Talking about chlorine. If I talk about chlorine, what is there? We have 7 electrons in the outermost shell, right? Now what can happen? I'll just write it, try to write it here. 2 and 2, 4, 2, 6, 1 is here, chlorine. What if I say that we are here to share the electrons? We are not going to transfer the electrons. Just have a look. If I have one more hydrogen over here, what I can do, this hydrogen will do friendship with this hydrogen. Hydrogen will say, bro, can you please share me 1 electron? Even I'll share you. So what is going to happen? They'll be getting the stability. Just have a look. This hydrogen has how many electrons now? 2. 1, 2. What about this hydrogen? This hydrogen has also done what? He has also shared the electron. So this hydrogen is also having what? 2 of the electrons. So they are stable and hence they are forming what? H2. Single covalent bond. Got my point? In the similar manner, this chlorine is actually lacking with 1 electron. Now what will happen? Chlorine will go to another chlorine. Hey chlorine, how are you? What's up? So chlorine, actually I have an issue. The issue is that I am not stable. Since I am not stable, I don't think so you are going to marry me. But I have one option. See, you are also not stable. I am also not stable. Let's do one thing. Let's patch up. What we will do? We'll share our electrons. If you can share this particular electron, we'll get married. Just have a look. What is happening? Here's one more chlorine is there, which is again having the same issue. It is also having 7 electrons in the outermost shell. So this chlorine will do bonding here. This chlorine will do bonding here. And hence we can see that this chlorine is having how many electrons now? 8. This chlorine, again 8. So here we can see that sharing of electron is taking place. There is no such transfer. They are not giving money. Okay, you can take this. No, they are actually sharing. The same concept which occurs between husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, so 50,000 you are earning, 50,000 I am earning. That means we are earning 1 lakh rupees. It's not about I. It's about we. The same concept is here. It's about them. That is we. Sharing is happening, and whenever this sharing is happening, we are talking about covalent bond. Now this doesn't mean that there will be only single covalent bond. There may be double, there may be triple. Now can you all give me the example of triple covalent bond? Anyone? Can you give me the example of triple covalent bond? Which particular element will form triple covalent bond with itself? Anyone? Waiting for the answer please. Vikramaditya, can you give me the answer? These are single covalent bonds, right? So can you tell me about any of that element which will form triple covalent bond? Now my question will be clear to those who have actually understood the valency and the valence electrons. So from those valence electrons you can easily directly tell me, so there are many options where you have to just tell me one. So Vikramaditya, if this concept is not clear now, please let me know so that I can go in more in depth and explain you. But I am sure that you will be able to answer this. I am asking about triple covalent bonds example. Can you give me that example? Just have a look. If I'll go with the 15th group, can you give me name of any of the particular element? Anyone? Vikramaditya and others, you can even refer the periodic table. If you want, I can show you periodic table. Wait. We had periodic table here, right? Just a second, yeah. So if I'll go with this 15th periodic table, 15th group, what is there? Here we have 5 electrons in the outermost shell. That is, we have 5 valence electrons, right? If I talk about valency, its valency is 3. 3 is their valency. because they require just 3 electrons. Now since they are requiring 3 electrons, what can they do? Nitrogen will ask another nitrogen, then phosphorus will ask another phosphorus. Any one example you can take. What is going to happen? I'll just talk about nitrogen over here. If I'll talk about nitrogen, just try to write it. How many valence electrons were there? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this nitrogen will say, hello nitrogen, how are you? Can you please share your 3 electrons with me? Another nitrogen cannot deny. Why? Because that nitrogen also wants 8 electrons in their outermost shell, right? So what is going to happen? This nitrogen will also say yes. That is the same logic we can talk about those Valentine's Day. I love you, do you love me? Yeah, obviously the same thing is happening here. This nitrogen is asking, do you want to share the electrons? She was already ready to share the electrons, right? So both of them will do what? This sharing of electron will be done, and just try to count this. How many electrons are there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This nitrogen is happy. What about this nitrogen? Just have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Triple covalent also. Achha, okay, no issues, Vikramaditya, no issues. But have you understood this fact? Here we are getting triple covalent bond. So now, just a last question from you all. Okay, I'll just tell you once again. What I was talking about, I was saying, we have discussed about single covalent bond. You are able to understand that fact now, and everyone who is there in the session, have you all understood about that single covalent bond where we have discussed about this example? Was this example clear with everyone? This H2, or we can talk about this Cl2. Was it clear? If this is clear only, then I'll go with the triple and double covalent bond. Is that clear? Yes or no? Waiting for the answer. Till then, I'll just check. I'm getting your comments quite late, I guess. So waiting for your comment right now. So yes, we have discussed about single covalent bond, right? Now what I'll do, I'll just have a look with the double covalent bond. Let's have a look. Okay, so Vikramaditya, what I was talking about oxygen now. Now can you tell me what kind of bond will be there? And I guess now we are having the live comments, right? Okay, cool, fine. So yes, if I talk about this oxygen, can you tell me where this particular oxygen is present? Obviously, when I'll go with this periodic table, I know that when I'll go with this oxygen part, it is there in which group? It is there in the 16th group, right? We remember? O se tipo, I gave you the trick where we have sulfur also. So yes, if I talk about oxygen, we have 6 electrons. Just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what do you think? How many electrons are required with the oxygen? Obviously, it requires only 2 electrons to gain the stability. Now this oxygen will do what? This oxygen will talk to this oxygen and it will ask, bro, I'll not say bro, I'll say, oxygen, do you want to marry me? She'll say, why? Because you also require 2 electrons, I also want 2 electrons. So we can actually patch up over there. Now, what will happen? These 2 electrons will be shared. Now just try to check here. This oxygen is going to have how many electrons? Total 8 electrons, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This oxygen is happy. Now what about this oxygen? Just have a look. How many electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So both of them are happy. Here we are talking about double covalent bond. So I guess this is clear. Double, triple, single. I guess this is clear, everyone. And what is covalent bond? Covalent bond is a bond in which mutual sharing is there. There is no such transferring that is taking place. Very simple, right? So we were talking about husband wives. If husband is earning 50,000, if wife is earning 50,000, that means they are earning 1 lakh. And the same logic is happening here. Because of this sharing only, they are able to be stable in nature. Got my point? So yes, we have understood this point now. Now if I'll go with this polar and non-polar part. What is polar and non-polar covalent bond? I'll do one thing. We have one more question. I'll go with that over there. But right now, is this particular point clear till the covalent bond? If it is clear, we'll move forward now. So yes, the bond which is formed by sharing of electrons between the atom of the element is known as covalent bond. So this is also clear. Next question, please. Double covalent bond occurs in which of the following? Answer, please. So we have 4 options here, and everyone who is there in the session now, I want answer from everyone. Can you please answer me this one? Which particular option is correct? Which particular option is correct? Double bond is occurring in where? Now these things we haven't discussed in the morning, right? We are discussing about CGL part, and these things are very important in the CGL. Previously asked actually. So yes, double bond is occurring where? We'll be understanding the same thing in organic chemistry as well. And don't worry, we have a theoretical lecture which will be coming next week for both periodic table and this bonding part. Now let's try to make this figure. If I'll go with this options, just have a look. We are asked about double covalent bond. Sorry, double bond. If I'm asked about double bond, I'll just try to make it. So we have 1, 2 for this carbon and 2 for this carbon. But we know that carbon is where? Carbon is having actually 4 electrons. That is, 4 are the valence electrons and its valency is also 4. So 2 electrons are used here. Now what I can do? 1 can be here and 1 can be here. This means I can have 1 hydrogen here and 1 hydrogen here, right? So what is going to be the correct answer? So Vikram Aditya is going with C2H4, okay? Others, are you also with the same option? Others waiting for the answer. See, Vikram Aditya is saying, sir, it would be C2H4. And that's absolutely correct. Why? Because carbon will be having what? Carbon needs to have total 4 electrons and it will be sharing 4. So see, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 4. So it will be here and 1 can be here. Now just have a look. How many hydrogen are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this hydrogen is happy with this part. This hydrogen is happy with this part. Hydrogen, hydrogen. Having its duet complete. If I'll go with the carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'll talk about this carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got my point? So here C2H4 will be the correct answer, which is actually having this double bond. Now if someone has doubt here, please let me know. Very important. Please try to understand this. This thing will be helpful in the organic chemistry as well. So okay, here we had C2H4 as the correct answer. So if you want to just create it, you can directly write in this manner also. It's one and a same thing. Both the things are same. I guess you can create it now. Okay, let's move forward to the next question. Example of covalent bond is dash. So it is KCl, BaO, CSCl3 and CaO. What is the correct answer? Answer please. And everyone who is there in the session, now please start answering this. If you can answer this, you will be able to understand it easily. And I'm again and again emphasizing on answering part because from tomorrow, these particular basic things would be helpful for understanding other chapters as well. So yes, answer please. Example of covalent bond is dash. Answer please. Answer. See, if I'll go with this CSCl3, just try to relate this part. Here, we are talking about covalent bond. That means there is no such transfer of electrons. Only and only sharing of electrons will be there, right? So if I'll talk about this structure, we know that carbon has 4 electrons, right? Now, since 4 electrons are there, hydrogen is having only 1 electron. So if hydrogen is having 1, hydrogen is now having 2, correct? Hydrogen is happy. Now talking about this carbon, carbon has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 are there. And fifth one is this. Now if I talk about chlorine, chlorine has the valency what? Chlorine actually has valency 1, right? So here just try to have a look. Chlorine, it is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. This will be 8. In the similar manner, chlorine will relate with it. And again here chlorine 8. So yes, we can understand that here chlorine is happy. Chlorine has 8 electrons, all the chlorines. And in the similar manner, if I talk about carbon, carbon has now total 8 electrons. So all of them are happy and this is the structure. So if anyone has doubt in these structures, please let me know. So yes, here only and only sharing is done and hence we can say that CSCl3 would be the correct answer, and Vikram Aditya, you are absolutely correct. Awesome. Let's move forward with the next question. So here we have this periodic table. If you have any doubt in this periodic table, you can let me know. So I can just start explaining that part, okay? Okay, let's move forward to the next question. Which of the following contains both ionic and covalent bond? Answer please. Now, the question, just try to relate this. Has both ionic and covalent. If I'll go with this ionic, that means I'm talking about transfer of electrons. If I'll go with this covalent, that means I'm talking about sharing of electron. Now you must be wondering, sir, what? how is it possible that transferring will also be there and sharing will also be there? Is it possible? Yes, that's possible. Now how? You have to answer me this, then I'll explain. So answer please. Answer please. So Vikramaditya has given the answer, so it will be NaOH, and that's absolutely correct. If I talk about this NaOH, so sodium positive, OH minus. This means transferring of electron has taken place. This is actually what? Here we can talk about ionic bonding. If I talk about this sharing part, that is covalent bond. So here we have oxygen, hydrogen. So this is the example of sharing, that is covalent bond. So that's totally correct, Vikramaditya. Awesome. Very good. Everyone else, we have next question now. Dash is a polar covalent bond. Now what's this covalent bond? I'll be telling you. I know you know covalent bond, but what is polar covalent bond? I'll be telling you, but I want answer from you all. So yes, dash is a polar covalent bond. What is the correct answer? Answer please. Answer please. Vikramaditya, I'm waiting for your answer. And everyone else who all are there in this session, kindly like this session and share it, please. Please start giving the answer, because all these questions are very, very important for the CGL part. Yes. Please answer so that I can go with this polar covalent bonds explanation. Answer. I guess you have doubt, Vikramaditya, right? If you have doubt, you can just comment me and let me know, because I need to understand where is the doubt actually. See, whenever there would be unequal sharing of electrons, unequal sharing of electron means what? Here comes the concept of electronegativity. Electronegativity. If one of the electron is more electronegative, it will try to actually attract the electron, or we can say that even bond can shift, right? So whenever there's unequal distribution of these electrons, we talk about what? This would be actually your polar covalent bond. Fine. So yes, Vikramaditya has given the answer, so it would be CaCl. But no, Vikramaditya, if I'll go with this part, so here your answer, that is PCl, is going to be the correct one. Now why? Please try to understand. If I'll talk about this electronegativity part, chlorine is actually more electronegative. Now how can I tell this? I knew when I'll move from left to right, electronegativity, I'll write here, electronegative nature actually used to increase. Now from left to right, and that too I'm talking about chlorine, it was in the 17th group. Now if I'll try to compare with others, here we have phosphorus, right? So if I'll compare with the phosphorus part, this chlorine is more electronegative. And yes, we have already understood there is uneven sharing of the electrons, unequal sharing of the electrons, and because of the presence of this electronegativity part, this is actually your polar covalent bond. If there would be equal, then obviously that part would be non-polar. I guess this is clear. So yes, option number A, that is PCl, would be the correct answer over here. So Vikramaditya, did you get this point? And everyone who's there in this session, if you have any sort of doubt, please let me know. So this is actually your polar covalent bond. Next. So here, let's have a look. We have phosphorus here, right? We have Cl here. So we can totally understand if I'll talk about the electronegativity part, more electronegative. So yes, next question please. Covalent bond is also called what? So we have molecular bond, proton bond, nucleus bond, electron bond. What is the correct answer? Okay. What is the correct answer over here? Covalent bond is also known as what? Covalent bond is also known as what? Answer please. What was happening? Just try to understand this. If I talk about this covalent bond, what was happening here? Just sharing, right? So the sharing was of what? You can just get with the option. Totally correct. Awesome, Vikramaditya. Awesome. Totally correct. Very good. So if I talk about the covalent bond, it is also known as molecular bond, right? So yes, option number A is totally correct. Next. Which of the following has the lowest ionization potential? We have discussed this, right? So if I talk about the lowest ionization potential, can you answer me this question? Which one is going to have the lowest ionization potential? So we have discussed this question. Remember? Yeah, lowest ionization potential. So I have a point here. If I talk about this ionization potential first, so what was ionization potential? Ionization potential. If I'll talk about this ionization potential, I'll write here how easily electron can be taken out. Now it's very easy to understand. I was yesterday explaining you when we are talking about long distance relationships. Yes, totally correct, Vikramaditya. So let me tell you again. When we are talking about long distance relationships, that is, if I talk about this positive charge and this negative charge, if they are very far apart, so this electron can be taken easily, right? Now what we can say, if I'll move from top to bottom, the number of shells actually increases. So if you are going to move down the group, you will easily able to take the electron out. That is, you will be requiring the least energy to take it out. That is, you can take out electron easily. So yes, if I'll go with these options, that is nitrogen, cesium and all, arsenic and all. So here we'll get to know that cesium is at the bottommost part and this can easily be taken out. If you have forgotten what was that trick, so I can tell you, I have told you, Halina ki rab se faryad, beta mange car scooter baap razi. Remember that trick? So if you will try to make that periodic table, you will get to know that cesium is the one which is at the bottommost part and hence it was having the lowest ionization potential. Okay, so now formation of cation occurs by what? So we have already discussed about anion. Now we are not going to take any more time further. Just try to give the answer in the super fast manner. We'll just click it and move forward. In the ending, we'll be having revision as well. So what all things we have understood today? We have understood what is bonding. Then we understood about the ion bond. Then we understood about the covalent bond. One thing which is left is a coordinate bond, which we'll be understanding in the later part of the section. That is after 10 minutes. But answer please. Now answer I want in the super fast manner. We have understood about anion, right? Anion was what? It was actually taking the electron. That's why it was having negative charge. What about cation? Cation is giving electron. That's why it will have positive charge. So if I'll give any of the example, you can take the example of Na plus. So yes, it is doing what? For the formation of cation, we need to lose the electron. Remember? So I'll write here, if there is a loss of electron, there would be the cation that is going to form. If there is gain of electron, that would be anion that is going to form. So if I'll talk about cation, you can talk about Na. If I'll talk about anion, I'll talk about chlorine. So when cation is formed, it is donating electron. If one electron is donated, there would be one charge. If chlorine is taking one of the electron, we are having negative charge. So this is anion and this is cation. So here, what is the correct answer? Vikramaditya, you are totally correct. The correct answer is going to be your loss of electrons. Next question is, a bond formed by the transfer of electron between the atom of the elements is called what? So we have understood when we are talking about the transfer of electron, this is actually your ionic bond. We have understood this. Next, in the ending, we will be understanding coordinate bond. Fine. Next, the compound which contains ionic bond is what? So if I talk about the ionic bond, this is transfer of electron. We have totally understood. That is NaCl is going to be the correct answer. Next. So can you do one thing? You can just start giving me answer in a super fast manner so that I can move forward with the super fast manner and then, yeah, totally correct. So yes, now next please. Why do atoms form bond? There must be reason for forming the bond. Now what's that reason? We have understood the same part in the morning also. So Vikramaditya, you were totally correct, absolutely correct, great. What about this question? Why do atoms form bond? So what is the correct answer for this? Since the starting of our chapter, and please remember, this is not only for CHSL also, this is from Cgl part as well. And yes, if I'm talking about this bond again and again, what is happening? We actually want stability. I told you, when that bat was broken, we were using those glue. If I'll talk about our life, I want certain amount to be stable. If I'll talk about even about you, you are studying so that you can get a proper job, right? And you can be helpful in the in running the human race and you can help your country out, serve your country, right? So yes, Vikramaditya is saying that to reduce the potential energy and to gain the stability, that's totally correct. So we are aware of to gain the stability is the correct answer, but please remember to reduce potential energy is also the main work because of which atoms are actually forming the bond. So yes, this is the question which is very important. Next, electrons in the highest energy level of the atom are called what? So are these valence electrons, orbital protons, valence electrons or orbital electrons. So we have already understood about this. Yes, highest energy level. Electrons in the highest energy level of the atom are called what? Are these valence protons, valence electrons or orbital electrons? What is going to be the correct answer over here? Vikramaditya and others, please. If I'll go with this question, electrons in the highest energy level, this means I'm talking about what? I'm talking about the outermost shell where the electrons which are present, they are actually known as valence electrons, and that's totally correct. Here option number C is correct. So electrons in the highest energy level of an atom are called valence electrons. Next please. Bond formed by sharing of electron between the atom of the element is called what? We have totally understood about this. So yes, we'll have two more questions regarding this covalent bond and then we'll move forward with the coordinate. So I'll be explaining this coordinate bond, but before that I want this answer. Very simple one, totally understood by everyone. So yes, answer please. The bond which is formed by sharing of electrons between the atoms of the element is called what? So is it ionic? No, obviously not, because their transferring is going to take place. Now if I'll go with this covalent, even I think the comments are going quite slow, but okay. I'll just tell them, they'll resolve the issue. So Vikramaditya is with B, totally correct. So here sharing is taking place. Let's move forward with the next question. Next question is, the compound which has covalent bond is dash. So can you tell me? It's very simple, we have totally understood about this, right? So yes, is it CSCl, CaO, N2 or Na2O? What is the correct answer for this, Vikramaditya? Answer please. And others who are there in the session, kindly like it and share it, and yes, please start giving the comments. Yeah, so I'm talking about the covalent bond. That means you have to see these options and just check where is this sharing actually taking place. We have discussed about it, right? So I guess now bonding must be clear. So Vikramaditya is with CaO, but Vikramaditya, if I talk about N2, remember, if I talk about N2, what was happening? 1, 2, 3. Then we have again 1, 2, 3, right? So 1, 2, 3. We were discussing about it. If I'll go with this option, I know that there is the sharing of electrons, right? So here, if I'll go with this N2 part, is there any doubt in that? Any doubt in that, Vikramaditya? So please remember, we have already discussed there was triple covalent bond, which we have understood about it. Yeah, totally correct. So yes, here just try to have a look. Sharing was done. 1, 2, 3 for this nitrogen, 1, 2, 3, 6 and 2, 8. This nitrogen is happy. Talking about this nitrogen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have bonding here, that is, this is actually what? This is actually your covalent bond. So here, N2, that is option C will be correct. I guess Vikramaditya, everything is clear now? Okay. So now we have already discussed all these questions. Okay. So we have Exampur official application, which is one-stop solution for all the government job aspirants. Acha, okay Vikramaditya, okay, fine. So yes, we are talking about this Exampur official application. We have live paid courses with the test series, free subject wise and topic wise quiz with the report card, job alert, admit card, examination date, all exams previous year PDFs with the solution, free all India scholarship test with the report card, topic wise free live class, full length sectional test with the report card, free exam wise PDF practice set PDF, daily, weekly, monthly current affair, and yes, we have unlimited subject wise practice questions just as a single platform. You have to just go to the Play Store, type Exampur there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just start registration and start using it. So yes, I had one more thing which I had to discuss, that was coordinate bond. Coordinate bond. So I'll be explaining this part only, then we'll finish the session. So yes, what is this coordinate bond? Remember, can you give me the example of a coordinate bond? Yes, Vikramaditya. Can you give me the example of this coordinate bond? Any one example. In the morning we have discussed this, right? So if I'll go with this coordinate bond, which is going to be the correct example for this? Let's talk about NH4 plus. We have discussed three. Okay, you are already there in the Exampur Cgl batch. Okay, great. So, okay, what I was talking about this coordinate bond. Let's understand. First of all, if I go with the ionic bond, what was happening there? Here, we were talking about only sharing. Sorry, we were talking about only transferring. That is transfer of electrons. If I talk about covalent, here what was happening? Here, sharing was happening. But if I'll go with the coordinate, no doubt sharing is happening there also. Sharing is happening there also, but there's one new concept where we are talking about lone pair. Where we are talking about lone pair. Now, what is this lone pair? Are you all aware of this part? If you're not aware of, please say no. If you are aware of this, please say yes. So that I'll not waste time on this lone pair and directly explain this part. Yes or no? Are you aware of this lone pair? Vikramaditya and all the others who are there in the session, please like this session. Please. And yes, start commenting. So what I'm saying, are you aware of this lone pair? What is it? Yes or no? Please answer me in the super fast manner. I guess I'm getting your comments quite late, so I'll not wait for you. I'll just tell you what happens whenever we are doing this bonding. Fine. There may be the electrons which are actually left, which were actually not shared, nor we have actually donated them. There are electrons which are present there. Now we can just try to have a look at this word pair. Pair means what? There must be two electrons together. Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, Vikramaditya, fine. So what I was saying, lone pair is actually a pair of electrons which are left, for which there was no such bonding done, but they are still left. Now, how is it possible? Just have a look at this particular part. First of all, I'll go with this NH3. NH3. Just try to make, let's try to understand it by this particular part, where if I talk about nitrogen, nitrogen is present in the 15th group. That means it has 5 electrons in its outermost shell. How many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. Now, since it is NH3, each hydrogen requires one more electron to be stable. Let's try to make hydrogens. 1, 2, and this is 3. Now, this hydrogen actually requires one more electron to be complete. So, yes, it is doing bonding here. Ready. All good? Okay. Talking about this hydrogen, it has paired with this part. Bonding is done. Okay. Talking about this hydrogen, this is also ready. That is, all these 3 hydrogens are now actually complete with their duet. That is, they are stable. But is our nitrogen stable? Let's have a look. If I'll talk about nitrogen, I'll choose another color here. Just try to have a look here. This part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this nitrogen is also happy. But what's the issue now? If I'll just try to check it with this pink color, these electrons are not shared with anyone. These electrons are not shared with anyone, and hence I'll say that these electrons, since there are 2 electrons, these electrons are known as lone pair of electrons. What are they? They are actually lone pair of electrons. Now, I was talking about ammonium ion. What? Ammonium ion. Just have a look. I was talking about this ammonium ion, NH4 plus. Now, before understanding the structure of NH4 plus, first of all, I want the confirmation. Till here, if you have any doubt, please let me know. What is lone pair? How this was actually done? What kind of bonding was that? Any sort of doubt is there? Please let me know so that I can move forward. Is it clear? Vikramaditya and all the candidates who are present in this session right now. Is it clear? Clear now? Now I have to explain this ammonium part, but before this, I want the structure of NH3. Is it clear with everyone? If it is clear, then I'll go with this NH4 plus. Let's try to understand this now. What I was talking about, first of all, if I'll go with this positive sign, let's understand. What if I write H plus? What does this mean actually? H plus means, I've already told you in the starting itself. Okay, cool, Vikramaditya, fine. What I was talking about, in the starting we have already understood what is anion and what is cation. If I'll go with this part, this positive means that there's a loss of electron. What's that? There is a loss of electron. So H positive means what? We are aware of hydrogen has atomic number 1. This means hydrogen has only 1 electron. Now what if I say that the 1 electron which was actually present is taken out or is actually given away? What will happen? In Hindi we say that नंगा खाएगा क्या, धोएगा क्या, पहनेगा क्या, धोएगा क्या, right? The same thing is happening here. It was just having one electron and that too which is lost. So what is going to happen? This H can be represented as H plus where it is not having any of the electron. There is no such electron present. Now what is going to happen? Obviously, for the stability, it required how many electrons? It required to cover its duet. That is, it requires 2 electrons. I'll write here. It actually requires 2 electrons. So what is going to happen? In this condition, nitrogen will come as a Sensha. Okay, hydrogen. What do you want? Hydrogen will say, I want sir 2 electrons. Nitrogen will say, okay, don't worry about that. I already have a lone pair of electrons. That is, I already have a 2 pair of electrons. Sorry, I have already 2 electrons. That is 1 pair of lone pairs. So you can just have it. So I have a lone pair of electron which you can have. Just try to make that figure now. For this NS3, we had this diagram, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of this hydrogen were here. But now I am talking about NH4 plus. So what is going to happen? One of the hydrogen where there are no such electrons present, what is going to happen? This nitrogen will say, Arey hydrogen, why do you worry? I am there, na? I will provide you those electrons. Thank you, Vikramaditya, for that. So nitrogen is doing what? Nitrogen has actually told hydrogen, please take these 2 electrons. Enjoy your life. Now this hydrogen is happy since it is having 2 electrons. Here there was already bonding which was present here. So this hydrogen was happy with 2 electrons. This hydrogen is happy because its duet is complete. This hydrogen is also happy because duet is complete. What about nitrogen? If I'll go with the nitrogen part, I'll use green color here. If I'll go with the nitrogen part, just try to calculate this. Nitrogen is already having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So everyone is happy. And in this manner, this ammonium ion actually gets the stability. So this is the concept. So we have understood this sharing is known as what? Sharing is actually your covalent bond. Transferring is what? Ionic bond. And this lone pair sharing, this is actually representing your coordinate bond. If I talk about polar covalent, what was that? There was unequal sharing of electrons. Remember, because of the presence of electronegativity, polar covalent bond. In the non-polar covalent bond, equal number of electrons were shared. So all these are actually the part from bonding. Now I guess each and everything is clear to you. If there is any doubt, please let me know. So all of you who are there in this session, is there any doubt which is left? Any kind of doubt? Sir, what is coordinate bond? What is covalent bond? What is ionic bond? I don't think so. Now you will be facing any of the issue. You can have a look at the previous year questions. You will be able to solve them. The only issue is that I want the conversation with you all. I guess some of you are from the Hindi medium, so you're not interacting. But yes, whatever the issue is, please let me know here in the chat section, on the comment section. We can resolve each and every issue. Fine. So what we'll do now, we'll just try to sum up with all the things we have understood. We'll just take 2 or 3 minutes more. Let's try to summarize what we have understood today. First of all, I'll just use the red color here. First of all, I'll tell you what is anion and cation. So if I'll go with the anion and cation part, what are these? These are actually ions, right? Now what happens if we have an element, which is actually donating the electron, we'll have positive sign. If we have an element which is getting the electron, that is negative sign. So in this manner, cation and anion are formed. Now, if I talk about bonding, so bonding is actually required for what? Bonding is actually required for minimizing the or lowering the potential energy. And the second and very important reason is because everyone wants the stability in the life. In the similar manner, these elements actually require stability. So these are the 2 reasons. Fine. Now, this is the reason for bonding. Now what happens? There are several types of bonding. First of all, if I'll go with the ionic bond, we can have a look at one more name, and that's what? Electrovalent bonding. Fine. So just have a look. What is ionic bonding? In the ionic bonding, we have transfer of electrons. Now transfer of electrons, what? From one element electron is transferred and another element actually takes it. Why? In order to attain the stability. It can be any of the example. We have already taken the example of NaCl. Now if I'll go with the covalent bonding. Now covalent bonding is actually of two different types. One is polar covalent bonding and another is non-polar covalent bonding. Fine. Now if I'll go with the polar covalent bonding, now here what is happening? There is no such equal sharing of electrons, and because of the presence of electronegativity, what happens? The bond that is formed, that is the covalent bond, that is polar covalent bond, and here we have equal sharing. Fine. So this was non-equal, this was equal. So we have understood this. Now one more question is asked. If I'll just talk about all the type of bonding, please remember, please remember, it's very important. This covalent bond is actually the strongest bond. It is asked in the examination, already asked in the CGL. So which one is the strongest bond? This covalent bond is actually the strongest bond. We have understood those two things. Now talking about next part. If I'll go with the coordinate bond, what was happening here? If I talk about the coordinate bond, we knew there was a bonding that was covalent bond where sharing was taking place. So hello Anushka, how are you? No, this is the second class, Anushka, actually. In the first class, we have discussed periodic table. This was the second class. Okay. So tomorrow we will be having the third class of chemistry. So in the coordinate bond, we have understood there was a lone pair which was present. Remember, after bonding, there was a pair of electrons which were never part of bonding. They were never the part of bonding. So what can be done? These electrons were never the part of bonding. But here, for example, if I talk about this nitrogen, which were left without bonding. So they were actually given, and here the hydrogen which was actually not having any kind of electron. So here we'll say that this kind of bonding was actually what? Coordinate bonding, where lone pair actually comes into the existence. So yes, we have understood each and everything regarding bonding. So we'll meet you all tomorrow at the same time, at the same place for the CGL part, and in the morning for different SSC examinations, which include Steno, CHSL and other examinations. Okay. So bye-bye everyone. Please take care. In case you have any sort of doubt, comment section is always for you. So tomorrow we'll be meeting 12 to 1 for other SSC examinations, and for the CGL in the evening 6 to 7. So bye-bye everyone.